a long time, man.
Is she a good cook?
When she wants to be.
I'm assuming you don't do any of the cooking.
No.
Of course not.
I don't have much passion for food.
I mean, we really have one passion, don't you?
Yeah.
Since she's gone, something small I wanted to ask you.
Fire away.
I was hoping you would let me use her as a model in my next piece.
What kind of piece?
Developing a new show, and there's a character that I want her to play. I think that she's really the only person I know that can play it.
As an actress?
No, as a portrait.
Oh, okay. She hasn't done any acting for a long time.
Well, certainly not a director. I wanted to ask you first, but
yeah. Well, no, thank you. I know she's modeled for you in the past, but
that's my favorite piece.
That was a long time ago, Robert. She's my wife now, and you know she models for all my work.
I did teach you both, though.
Yeah.
I think that this would be such a big deal to ask.
Look, we've known each other for a long time. You can't tell me that you never felt anything for her. I know you too well for that.
I think a painter appreciates all of his subjects.
Yeah, but Joe's special. You and I both know that.
Absolutely.
She's mine now. You gave her to me. You can't have her back.
Always been like this. You hate competition. Even when we did still lifes in class, you would always choose a different object in the room rather than a bowl of fruit. You would never paint when anyone else would.
So why does this surprise you? I mean, I'm glad you came.
Well, I'm just surprised you haven't grown as an artist. I taught you better than this.
Yeah, you did. You taught me really well. In fact, whose show sold out all their paintings? Look, I don't want to get into some kind of pissing match with you here, but
oh, by all means. Obviously, you're no longer my student. I just didn't realize you owned Jo and her time.
I don't think that you understand how critical she is to my process. I don't think that you understand how personal that is.
Actually, I do.
I mean, if anybody would, it would be you, but I don't even think that you really know.
I painted her first. I taught her how to sit for hours at a time.
I've lived with her. We've been married.
And that means that she can't pose for another man?
It means she can't pose for you. It means she can't pose for you. I'm not okay with it.
It's my painting, isn't it? Because you've never been able to capture Jo the same way that I did. In fact, you don't ever really capture Jo. Capture what you'd like to see about her.
She's more than a model. She's my wife. Her contribution to my process is so much more than standing.
Oh, really? By all means, what does she do for your process? Besides name your pieces.
I can't even begin to live without her. You know.
You were the most solitary student that I ever had. And when I initially paired the two of you together, I thought that I would put you with the greatest collaborator that I had ever worked with.
And you did.
And you stole her.
She has a choice in this. She has a voice in this. You realize
No.
that? She chose
She
me.
realized that you needed it more.
And I
that
did.
is why she chose
And she realized that I was going to go so much farther than you.
The great Edward Calder. I'm surprised we both fit in this apartment at the same time. I'm surprised Jo can live here at all. Does she have any belongings here? Does she have any paints here? Because she stayed longer than you did.
You know she doesn't.
I see your canvas.
You know she doesn't paint anymore. She only paints to provoke me now.
Oh, of course. All of us are to serve your work. Your paintings with her aren't even today. When I painted her, I could feel every single curve of her body.
This is exactly
And
why
that
I
is
don't want her to
something that
pose
I know
for
that
you.
you don't even like to touch her.
Because of you! Because of you!
Oh, because of me. Why is that?
As a
What
young
did I
man,
do to
I
you?
came to you as a student, as a young man. And we used to go to the whorehouses together. The things that I saw there. God, the filth and the shame and the pleasure. You taught me to be an observer. You unlocked the way that I see the world, and I can put it on paper now, but I can't stop being an observer. I'm an observer in my own love life. I'm an observer in my own house.
I'm quite aware. And that is why Jo deserves better. That is why you should not anchor her down.
This is your fault.
Oh, is it? Enlighten me.
You made me the artist that I am. You
You're
turned
welcome.
me into a voyeur. And I am grateful for it.
You were always detached. I gave you purpose. I gave you vision.
And you gave
but I
me
did
her.
not
You
change
gave me
or
her. And without her, do you know that I haven't eaten in 3 days? You know when I can't work, when I'm stuck and I can't come up with an idea? She refuses to cook for me. You know, the only reason she's going to get groceries right now is because you're here. I'm going to get to eat because you're here.
And doesn't that say something?
Yes, it says that she's part of it. She's responsible. It's not just me. You can't pin this on me like I'm such a monster the way I treat her.
Oh, really?
She's a part of it. It's a
she?
collaboration. And it may be sick, and it may be twisted, but it's the only way I know how to work, and it's the only way that I can create the masterpieces that I do. And I know that that burns you. I know you hate that. But I'm better than you. And people love my work. And they love it because of this life that I live. And if she's the collateral damage for that, that's a mutual choice.
You were my greatest mistake. When you came to my class, I should have turned you away. You had absolutely no promise or vision. And it was the two of us that gave it to you. Last week in the paper, I read that your greatest influence was yourself. But every time I look at your paintings, I can see the brushstrokes that I taught you. I can see the emotion and the narrative that Jo is giving you. Without us, you would be nowhere. So you owe me this. You owe me the opportunity to do something great. That is the last piece that people bought, was the piece with Jo in it. You owe me this, Hopper.
You can't have her back. You cannot have her back.
Then at least let me paint her. Give me some small part of her. She is not your possession. She can equally be our muse. She's that talented. And I would at least let her paint. And I would encourage it.
Your time is over. You had your chance at success, and it is gone. I will
You know
always
why it's
respect
gone?
you. I will always respect you as a mentor. You cannot take what I have, what gives me inspiration and try and make it yours. It's mine.
It was always mine. She chose you because she was afraid that she would never accomplish anything on her own. And you were the fastest rising star in your class, and I have seen it before. And as soon as your inspiration dries up, she will move on. And she will come back to you. Because at the end of the day, I appreciate her talents. And you usurp them.
The two of us are greater than you will ever be. Ever.
She hitched her cart to the wrong horse. You couldn't do it alone. You know that, right?
I know. You think I don't know how vital she is? I can't breathe without her. You know what living with her is like? It is a torment. It is a nightmare. It is tumultuous and breathless. It is so full of life that it bursts out at the seams and pours out of me. It simultaneously destroys and creates me. That's what living with her is like. I don't think that you can handle her.
I already did. And we could sit in silence for hours. We could sit next to each other and paint civilly. I did not hit her. She did not have to starve me. We had a love that worked. We had a love that wasn't dysfunctional.
You're delusional. You're so delusional. God, what was that, 10, 15 years ago? You think you can just go back and recapture that? You're an old man now.
Remember who taught you everything you know.
Yeah, you did. But it's my time now, not yours.